Today I'll be doing a shootout between 34-inch, 32-inch, and 30-inch scale basses, so stick around. Hey everybody, it is Aaron at Warmoth, and this is the Warmoth bass of tonal discovery. And you can see I've got this thing routed and kind of Frankenstein for all kinds of experiments in tone, many of which I've already done. Today's experiment in tone is I'm going to compare this bass. This is a normal scale, 34-inch scale bass. And I'm going to compare this to this, and this is our short scale J-style body with a 30-inch scale neck on it. And then I also have this 32-inch scale neck. So today I'm going to compare all of these and see if we can hear any differences and also feel any differences. Of course, you won't be able to feel any differences, but I'll see what I notice, and I will give you my review at the end. The cool thing about our short scale basses is they fit standard hardware. So I'll be reusing all the hardware off this bass. So that won't be a factor. I'll be using the same bridge. This is a Godot 201 bridge, by the way. I'll be using the same pickup. These are Seymour Duncan hot J-bass pickups. I will be using the same electronics. I will be using the same strap buttons. I will be using the same neck plate. The only hardware that I won't be using on all three is the tuners, because our SSB necks take a different kind of tuner. But all of this hardware here will be reused in all three iterations of this bass. So hopefully what we're going to be able to hear is just the difference in the scale length. And as usual, I will be running these all through the Mayfly bass amp simulator, which is my current favorite DI solution for bass. This is what I use to record all my songs with, and that's what I'll be using today. And as you can see, I already have this 34-inch scale bass assembled and strung up and ready to go. So I'll start with this and then just work my way through the other two scale lengths. All right, here we go. You know, when the Telecaster was released, Leo Fender kind of got there first, but there were a lot of other people who were kind of working on an electrical guitar all around that same time. But the bass, Leo Fender claims that all to himself. He is the one that developed that. It came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden there was this electrical bass. And he gets that one all to himself. And it's amazing to think that you know, the 34-inch scale, well, this is the 32, but the 34-inch scale, as far as I know, he didn't arrive at that in any magical formula or anything. He just took a Telecaster neck and added 5 extra frets at the end, and that became the 34-inch scale bass. And like I said, it's amazing how right he got it. In those clips, the 34-inch sounded the best in every case. And it's not to say that the 32 and the 30 didn't sound good. They sounded fine, but they had a different character. Not as much bass, more of a mid-range kind of a thing going on. More, man, I hate using adjectives to describe sound. But it was just more, it didn't have the low bass. It was more mid-rangey, more boingy kind of. And the 32, I purposely put the 30 and the 34 right back to back because I wanted extreme ends right back to back. The 32 was in the middle. There a little more bass came forward, but it was still closer to the, I wouldn't say it was right in the middle. It was still closer to the 30-inch than the 34-inch. There's just something magical that happens at that 34-inch scale. And I acknowledge this isn't a perfect test. You know, you have to have 3 different necks, but you've got 2 different bodies, which is the way I had to do it because our short scale necks will not fit our full scale bodies. I have to use a short scale body, so I had to switch bodies. But everything else was the same, so it was as fair a test as I could make it. And I can definitely see why players would want those shorter scales. They have a different voice, especially if you have shoulder issues or something where that long reach, because the 34-inch scale is so long, it's annoying when you're trying to tune and stuff. It's annoying. And I can see where that shorter reach would help if you have like a physical thing, or it's just more comfortable to play. That 30-inch was super comfortable to play. But when it comes to just talking about tone, the 34-inch scale rules in my book. Having those other voices available, I could see because, you know, there's a million different musical contexts, and one might sound better in a certain musical context than another. So if you are a bassist, I could see why you would want all of those things in your arsenal for sure. But for me, and you know, I'm just a rock guitar player, and I just like that rock sound, and I definitely prefer the 34-inch. If you are like I'm a hack bass player, you know, I'm a guitar player first and a bass player second. I can write good enough melodies for the songs that I write, bass melodies, I mean, for the songs that I write, but I'm not a bass player. So if you're a bass player, I would like to know your take on this. I'd like to know what you heard and what you thought about that, and why you would want one or the other in a different musical context. So anyway, yeah, this is the 32 scale. This is where I ended up at. The 34-inch base of Tonal Discovery will live on. All this hardware will end up back in this base, and hopefully we'll have more experiments to go down the line. But in the meantime, if you are interested in any of Warmoth's bass necks, replacement necks, or our replacement bodies, any of the short scale stuff, it's all on our website. Make sure and go check it out. And if you have any more questions, give our customer service reps a call. And until next time, keep on picking.